Happy World Statistics Day and a very, very warm welcome to everyone joining us for our first ever 24-hour global webinar to celebrate World Statistics Day. So I'm Rachel Bevan, Director of Statistics Division at the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, and it's my pleasure to open this celebration with you. This is the first time we've attempted something of this scale, a full-day event that moves across time zones and regions, bringing together voices from around the world to celebrate the power of data. I'm joining from Bangkok, but where are you all joining from? Feel free to type your location in the chat. As we begin, just a few practical notes. This event is being recorded and the material will be available along with the presentations after the event. Please keep yourself on mute unless you are one of the speakers. And if you experience any technical issues, please try disconnecting and rejoining using the same link. We begin our journey in Asia and the Pacific. After this short opening, we'll move into a Pacific segment, kindly organized by the Pacific community, where they will share inspiring examples of innovation, as well as celebrating through song and dance. Then we'll return to Bangkok to explore innovations across the region, followed by a session on demystifying data and making it more usable. From there, our journey continues around the globe, to Western Asia and the Middle East, to Europe, to Africa and Europe, and finally Latin America and the Caribbean. In his message for World Statistics Day, the UN Secretary General highlighted the essential role of data in solving global challenges and reaffirmed our commitment to the fundamental principles of official statistics: impartiality, professionalism, and commitment to scientific principles and professional ethics. Citizens everywhere deserve trustworthy data to inform public policy and strengthen accountability, trustworthy, timely, and inclusive data for all. Now, I'm delighted to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Armida Salsiah Alisjahbana, Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of ESCAP. And she has prepared a short video message as she wasn't able to join us in person today. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, friends, and fellow champions of data. Once every 5 years, the global statistical community comes together to celebrate World Statistics Day. Under this year's theme, Driving Change with Quality Statistics and Data for Everyone, we reflect on progress made and the urgent need to ensure that reliable and inclusive data truly benefits all people. Since the first World Statistics Day in 2010, the world has changed in dynamic and powerful ways. We live in a time of extraordinary innovation, with AI tools now part of our daily lives. Open source platforms are revolutionizing statistical business processes and making data analysis more efficient. Yet, challenges remain. Progress in our region has been uneven. While millions have been lifted out of poverty and gained access to education and services, many communities are left behind. Second, the demand for high-quality, timely, and granular data is growing faster than many existing systems can deliver. Third, the data landscape itself is shifting. Private sector actors now produce vast amounts of data, raising new concerns about governance, trust, and privacy. These challenges are compounded by persistent gaps in digital skills and infrastructure, limiting the ability of many to access and use statistics. Therefore, we must invest in strengthening national statistical systems, ensuring they remain inclusive, resilient, and trusted. We must embrace innovation by integrating new tools, methods, and partnerships to make data more accessible and actionable. we must also build stronger regional and global collaboration to learn from one another, accelerate progress, and leave no one behind. ESCAP continues working to advance these solutions. The National SDG Tracker, now used in 22 countries, helps governments monitor progress towards achieving the 2030 Agenda. The recently launched SatTrack is a self-assessment tool that supports countries in shifting to administrative data for censuses, and the adoption of the Ministerial Declaration on a Decade of Action for CRVS represents a shared commitment to building universal and responsive system. Today's global celebration, this 24-hour marathon of dialogue and exchange, contributes directly to these goals by showcasing innovations, strengthening networks, and reaffirming a shared commitment to quality statistics. As we celebrate World Statistics Day, let us remember that statistics are not just numbers. They are stories of real lives. Let us continue to invest, innovate, and collaborate, driving change together. Happy World Statistics Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Executive Secretary. We're now going to hear from Bjorg Sandkjaer, who's the Assistant Secretary General for Policy Coordination at the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. She also wasn't able to join us today live, but she has sent a short video message. Thank you.
Greetings to all on World Statistics Day. We commemorate this day just once in 5 years, but statistics and data enter our lives each and every day. The data that you generate on your daily commute guide your city's mass transit plans. Your responses to surveys and censuses help better target policymaking. Trusted, reliable, granular, timely data are key to understanding our ever-changing world. They provide the evidence we need to improve lives and outcomes for all. And that's why the celebrations this year are guided by the theme, Driving Change with Quality Statistics and Data for Everyone. As part of the observances today, I welcome you to the first ever 24-hour World Statistics Webinar Marathon. Curated, coordinated and presented by the United Nations Regional Commissions from Bangkok, Beirut, Addis Ababa, Geneva and Santiago. This dynamic exhibition presents inspiring examples from across the world. The webinar hosts both producers and users of data, governments, international and regional agencies, academia, youth advocates, data champions and of course, statisticians. You will hear about methodological work that underpins statistical data production. It ensures that current challenges, such as inequality and climate change, are measured accurately and reliably. You will learn about innovative data sources and novel ways to make data available, facilitating better analysis and evidence-based decision-making. You will witness practical illustrations of the power of data to drive development and to leave no one behind. Within this rich and ever-expanding data ecosystem, I would like to take a moment to recognize the special role of official statistics. Collected and disseminated according to the fundamental principles of official statistics and adhering to robust national quality assurance frameworks, these statistics set high standards for objectivity, reliability, and comparability. Over the years, steady investments by countries and their partners have greatly boosted capacities for producing and using national statistics. These statistics are essential public goods. Without them, our societies and our democracies won't function. But today, resources are shrinking across the world, and donor support for data collection and analysis is dwindling. That means that we run the risk of not being able to update critical data or to monitor emerging issues. So let's draw fresh inspirations from the many examples we will hear about today and recommit to strengthening our global statistical system so that it continues to provide the best possible evidence to guide our paths towards sustainable development. Thank you, and I wish you a data-rich World Statistics Day.
And thank you also for her reminding us about the special role of official statistics, which are grounded in the fundamental principles of official statistics. Now, I'm pleased to welcome Ms. Prim Rajasurang Wongkrasai-Mongko. Apologies if I didn't get that quite right. And she's our youth advocate, AI engineer, and also delegate from the Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development, APFSD Youth Forum in 2023. And we're very, very grateful that she could not only join us in person, but also with it being so early in the morning. So over to you, Prim. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and greetings from Bangkok, Thailand. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, and I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the UN ESCAP, the UN Regional Commission, and the UN Statistics Station for inviting youth to speak at this very important World Statistics Day 2021. So I'm Prim Rajasurang Wongkrasai-Mongko. I'm a youth advocate and AI engineer, and it's truly an honor to join the start of this unique global collaboration celebrations of the world. Statistics is a story of the humankind. It is the history of the data. It tells us where we come from, analytics from the past, and forecast for our future. Quality data brings the quality life, and quality statistics starts with a collection of inclusive data. Inclusive data inform inclusive insights and policy for inclusive community that needs meaningful and inclusive engagement. Let's ensure that our data are unbiased by bringing women in STEM to balance our data, and bringing children and youth, indigenous people, marginalized community, people with disabilities, LGBTQI+, and elderly that must be inclusive to leave no one behind. Please ensure that our privacy in the collection and the use of data. In our generation, children and youth are exposed to information, feed of food, feed of information, feed of data since we were infants, since we were born. And everyone is using, is producing, is collaborating, and contributing to data in every single day life. Children and youth have spent our time online with social media, and these data are unclean, unfiltered, unverified, or you could have misinformation. When cyberbullying is more prevalent, it leads to more real-world bullying. And real-world bullying leads to bullying. As these worlds are interconnected, they almost become one world, one reality. And we call for policies in our cyber world and physical world to protect our data, to protect our people. Economic growth, cyberbullying, and obesity are interconnected issues, with economic growth often linked to a rising rate in obesity in developing countries. Youth with overweight will also have a higher risk of being bullied with teens. From these statistics, we can see the correlations in different dimensions, with one-dimensional, two-dimensional, dynamic, and dimensional data. And AI and data analytics in statistics can help us to find a solution to revolutionize our social and economic challenges, to prevent the lives lost in the future. These statistics illuminates the critical needs for better media literacy and a more holistic approach. We need a new education system that supports quality people for quality data, education and digital literacy to empower us to know our rights, to know the type of data we can share, to have the ethics and awareness to analyze and produce a high quality data for decision making. When mothers, fathers, and families, and teachers, and the whole society are the key role to shine, every child to have a chance for critical thinking, to inspire new ideas to everyday life, to ignite inspiration and digital empowerment inclusively of everyone will benefit our world. The role of data and statistics are crucial for informed decision making. Data is a tool to protect our lives. Using data as forecast and anomaly detection to prevent cybercrimes, we need to have a safe and secure data for better well-being and inclusive in social and cyber world. Data is guiding the world. When wrong data gives you the wrong drive, the wrong way, the right to data respects human life. The roles of data shape this world, and the story of data will change the world. Data-driven decision-making is growing socio-economically. Preserve our social cultural data. Disabilities and all vulnerable groups will be more equitable. No poverty, that we can provide data to fight climate change. We are all interconnected with each other, with biodiversity, with data that connects all of us. We have cross-cultural, we cross data, and data makes the connection. We network with data, with social, with environment. With sharing data, with carrying prosperity, sharing solution, a new viewpoint to solve our problem. One solution may not fit all, but we need specific data for specific problems when AI can guide us, when all nations can protect our lives in all countries, to customize with data, to use data to customize it. And integrated statistics and multidimensional data can enhance its value when data sharing and interoperability of the data become the key to drive a whole society, a whole government approaches. Like during the Cold War crisis, like the COVID-19 pandemic, we share the data, we share our health, we share the world, and we collaborated. And up-to-date data is the one that makes our world survive. When SDGs are interconnected, the data tools are multidimensional. Youth are using artificial intelligence analytics that we can find innovative, locally led, tailored, and target solutions to accelerate our SDGs progress. Open data and standardized data set will allow more people, like young people, and civil society, government, private sectors, and researchers to collaborate on data, to bring new perspectives, to bring new solutions. Please invest in high-quality data, disaggregated data, gender data, climate data, real-time data, and invest in youth, invest in our generation, invest in human-centered data, and policies for AI and data governments that leave no one behind. Statistics is the data of our life. It brings analysis for data-driven decision-making. Data is a powerful tool. It's increased trustworthiness. With secure data, will build a secure community. Youth are the game changer. We believe in this world, and the world is our data, and youth. So let's collaborate together to bring quality data, quality lives of everyone, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prim. Let me just check, sorry, about a technical issue, that everyone could hear that very powerful message. Yes, thank you. Thank goodness. Okay. We want to really thank you as well for sharing and really reminding us that quality statistics bring quality lives, and also for that very powerful message about inclusivity and the need to protect data so that we also protect lives. But also thank you as well for mentioning the whole of government and whole of society approach, because as well, that's something we want to do through this event today, is to bring all those different parts of society together, recognizing that we're not on our own. We can't do this on our own. So thank you very much. We've heard from a few voices so far, but now we want to really hear from many more of you. So we're going to mention, and we're going to, you should be able to see a QR code, which is going to appear on the screen. There we go. So you can either use the code or you can scan the QR code. And we will be using Mentimeter throughout this first Asia Pacific segment. So please do all take a moment now to join. Just looking around the room, I am actually in the room with other people. It just looks like I'm alone, but hopefully you can see it. I'm in two places at once. Okay, we hopefully are joining. And our first question that we just wanted to ask you today is, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word statistics. So hopefully you've all joined, or many of you have joined. If you haven't had a chance to join yet, the QR code is also in the chat. It's also on the screen, and you can also join using the code. So if you just go to www.menti.com, you can use the code at the top of the screen there. So we've asked you about the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word statistics. We can see some words emerging in our word cloud. The fact that a word appears larger means that more people have put that same word. Hypothesis tests, stories, ideas, facts, analysis, influence, innovations. We're getting lots of new words, so I would encourage all of you as well to try. You can, I think, answer more than once actually as well. So please do put down the first word, and you can just keep doing that. I think we've got quite a few people responding, but let's just give it a little bit more time, because we do want to kind of hear from you about what you think of with the word statistics. Change, interesting. Power. I think we'd probably like to hear that word. I think that would be great if more people did immediately think of the word power when they hear the word statistics. I think that would demonstrate real change, wouldn't it? Truth, also a very powerful word, but also a great word that people will actually associate with the word statistics. So that's great to see as well. People, yeah, also really important, as we've just heard from Prim, just talking about the fact there that it is about people's lives. We protect data not for the sake of the data, but also for the people that's lives it is protecting. And great to see as well the word there, stories. We're going to hear a lot more stories, I think, throughout the day. So a lot of these kind of words and ideas we are going to come back to throughout the day, through this segment, as well as actually through the different segments as we move around the globe. So I'm just going to give it just a couple more seconds to finish if people want to put in any last thoughts on this question. Also, I can see some other words coming up: innovative, change, opportunity. Opportunity is definitely something we're going to hear more of in the next segment, but we'll also come back to that as well in our innovation segment. But I do wonder, as we look at these words and we think about what was the first word that came to mind when we heard the word statistics, back in 2010, 20th of October 2010, that's why World Statistics Day is always on the 20th of October. I do wonder if we would have answered the same thing 15 years ago, if we'd asked this same question, which I don't think we did. And certainly the world has changed such a lot since then, but I wonder what we would have all answered if we'd been asked that same question 15 years ago. And I think we all know the world has hugely changed, and we've changed as well. I wanted to just also kind of ask people, let's take a moment to actually think back to 20th of October 2010. To think about where were you and what was the world like back then in 2010. The first thing I did when I was asked that was to look on my phone to see if I had any photos back from then. And I realised, of course, that my mobile phone from then didn't actually have a camera on it, which really restricts my ability to actually remember what I was doing at that time. Although I do remember I was actually in the UK government, and I was watching a presentation by Hans Rosling. So it was definitely something that stuck in my mind. But what we want to do now, before we finish this segment, is we've got a short video to play for you to show you where were some of the people that we know, what were they doing in 2010. So I'm going to ask the team now to share that video. Thank you.
What were you doing in 2010? 15 years ago, the world celebrated the very first World Statistics Day. Back then, data mostly lived in the hands of specialists, tucked away in reports, papers and spreadsheets.
In 2010, I was working for what was then the UK Department for International Development. I haven't graduated from primary school.
I was in grade 9.
I was just starting high school.
I was finishing up high school.
I was working at a specialty actuarial firm in the Caribbean.
I had just started working for the UK Office of National Statistics.
I worked at Statistics Sweden with the national accounts.
I just completed my second master degree and I joined as an intern with the ILO Asia Pacific office doing minimum wage calculation.
But visionaries like Hans Rosling changed that. He showed us that statistics could tell powerful human stories. He demystified data, making it accessible to all, showing that behind every number lies a person, a family, a community. Fast forward to 2025. The world has transformed. Artificial intelligence and digital tools have put data in everyone's hands. From climate sensors to mobile apps, from trade flows to health records. Statistics now shape everyday decisions in all of our lives. In 2015, the world launched the Sustainable Development Goals. And with them came a clear message. We need better data to drive real progress. From tracking poverty to protecting the planet, statistics became more than numbers. They became tools for action, visibility, and change. Today, data empowers decisions that shape our future and help ensure that no one is left behind.
We develop methods ourselves to be able to classify those types of buildings into residential or non-residential. There are methods being developed to identify buildings that are damaged. There are data sets on land use and land cover, infrastructure, points of interest increasingly becoming available, and detailed data on the Earth at night as well that gives indications of the presence of an electrification of areas of the world, as well as mobility patterns from the devices that we all carry with us and the kind of social media use of those devices.
Maka dengan menggunakan modeling dari Earth Observation ini kita langsung menggunakan citra satelit tadi yang bisa kita ukur setiap saat, sehingga dengan demikian dari sisi pembiayaan ini akan sangat efisien.
Data yang baik terkait dengan beras menjadi penting bagi kita, tidak hanya untuk tahu produksinya dan juga produktivitasnya, tentunya kita juga aware mengenai sumber pangan lainnya yang kita perlu dorong.
On this World Statistics Day, we celebrate how far we have come. From 2010, when data was reserved for experts, to today, where it empowers everyone. Looking ahead, let's ensure that statistics are not only driven by AI, but guided by human values, social purpose, and care for the planet, leaving no one behind.
Thank you very much. I think as we saw then, the world has changed a lot since 2010, and so have we. As we come now then to the end of this opening session, I want to thank all of the speakers who participated. Thank you to all of the audience. Please do kind of stay engaged throughout the day. We're not expecting necessarily that people watch all of the segments for the whole of the next 24 hours or 23 and a half hours, but we would encourage you to try and attempt to drop in and to see as much as you can. And there is a full program on the UNSD website. So this brings us to the end of our opening session, and I now have the pleasure of handing over to our colleagues at the Pacific Community and to Phil Bright as we'll be moving into the next session where we're showcasing the great work happening across the Pacific. So over to you, Phil.